Uluvinaka, welcome yet again to another Family Table Talk on every Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. We would like to greet you today and thank you for joining us. For those of you that are tuning in within the Central Division, we have Eastern, we have the Islands, the Western and the Northern. And also to those of you who are tuning in outside Fiji, whichever country you may be tuning in from, Australia, New Zealand, Europe continent, American, and we have the Pacific Islands. And also we would like to remember you listening in from the island here in Fiji. Maybe kim do may nayatulau bakatalay kina may wonolevu. Senga ni wale kim do may nayatiasawa bakakina may kandaw. Lomay viti vinakabakalevu na bakarong tumay. Sabi kim nituk sana bi ulin ni bundo. May naitasiri nayabo wine boka nandogo tuki nabuno yawa sanongo na baka senga soti ni catch me nakikina na internet sa bakandare da may kina na bikanda rechon matakani ko kero kita bakitikani ena matakin sing vinaka ni ko vinaka bakalevu malawambula ni sayan vinaka ena matakin bakaruai ena vi mama ni vitu ena vitala no ni vika ni vi nonda matupal ena sing vinaka ni ko
torto kana ngono vinango mo vikinda bakitikani sana itirikabani nonda manua viturang bale marambale vi korkoro nimbula vinaka matakani bakaruai sona ngona do tato ngunti sar toka en television Kamatala kina weekend sarbato no taliboni wale si platform beka na channel 4 sa Facebook ni MaiTV o sa torto na ngono binangombe kero mo ambulatuani en mataka ni sendindai siningule da weekend na vipono son papalangi Amerika matala kina bono leboesia kena bi matantu lago tumbe ba buli ba daka bangito nimbula binaka siningule da bibe kemni manya bono lebo Europe na British Army weekend kenda tuna be tokalawe loma muda ni balu ni bitanga maki ni sambula binaka uno libo Afrika sini ngule batanga na bia tene na Pasifika kenda mai Tonga Samoa batanga kina mai Solomon Oklani staba tukuna ndre mai Honiara habani ni binaka tuyani ni na tau malu atale na kaya dhurumitiko na mataka ni sini ndai Vanuatu New Caledonia Papua New Guinea nimbula binaka na mataka ni sinindai family table talk mi mama ni vitu ena bi mataka ni bagarawai saba kambule tukani ena singa binaka ni kwa kero ni taka ni vital no bagongo kasaranga mi balata na mata wale ena bi buke bagali weekenda ena singa binaka ni kwa so greetings again this morning and saying bula binaka saying good morning for those of you that are morning. But some of us will be evening, some of us will be in the afternoon. We take this time to say Mbula Binaka all the way from Fiji for this program. We call it the Family Table Talk.
And thank you. We were actually rounding up because we are coming towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
And it's December, that moment of the year that everything we say to ourselves, okay, this is the end of this particular year. So we round up with a lot of things, work, family, time together, time to appreciate one another, time to socialize, a lot of things that we say to ourselves, okay, we are coming to the end of a whole year, and then we are anticipating another greater year that is ahead of us. And this morning, because of that, last night we were actually watching CNN News. And I was really, like when I was listening last night, which we would like to share here. As I listened last night, or as we were watching the news, they mentioned that in October, for the month of October, 4.4 million Americans, 4.4 million, they have resigned or left their work. And for me, there was, like that never used to happen. It may be happening in Fiji or any other country, but for that particular piece of news last night on the CNN, that 4.4 million in America have resigned from their job in the month of October. And they were interviewed. A few couples were interviewed last night. So what was happening during the pandemic and throughout COVID, there was like a self-realization to most.
Yeah.
And the couple that was interviewed last night, they mentioned one of them is a real estate agent, and the other one, works in the construction, building work or contractor work. And then they were pictured with their caravan and their twin cab, and then they said, "We sold our home. We have resigned from our job earlier, And one thing that they've realized, that they
Spend
have
too much
worked,
time.
spent too much time in the
On
workplace, spent a lot of years, many years,
Making money.
and waiting, for them to reach their age of retirement age, maybe for us, waiting for 55. I mean, for retirement. And they mentioned, like, the realization that came during pandemic and COVID on how hard you have worked and those years of investing and working, and then you're only looking forward, towards the retirement, and that during COVID, death, happens earlier
come and take
than
their
planned or expected. Nangona may daba kina na bula, nangona may lenga kina. It was a waste of investment, a waste of time, something that you have worked so hard to build up, that you want to enjoy together with your family or with your spouse. And then COVID come and quickly take them, or take them without plan, or take them not knowing that they're going to go. And that realization happened to a lot of people. So in America, they reported 4.4 million in the month of October. They have resigned from their job, and they have just decided to do that and work from home in whatever little way that they can to sustain them. And one thing that I can derive from that piece of news last night on how they have shifted the value of the family, or to value their life and value the, their relationship as husband and wife, and also value their family as a whole, knowing that before they used to be away so much doing work, but because of that, now they are resigning to spend as much time with the family, and sustain them just by doing something to get them,
Because we were introduced into the system that you must go out there and invest, work, get money.
Yeah, and then work through the period until you retire.
until such a time that you can, nearly can barely work, then you are told to retire. During the pandemic taught them the value of being together, or the value of being with their children, the value of staying at home.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I believe the world was going, according to the news last night, what I gathered, we were introduced into very fast lane world.
Yeah.
That if you are not working, something is wrong with you.
Yeah.
But when we go back 50 years ago, 60 years ago, it was okay that maybe little money can be okay for them to live through. And the timing together, the quality relationship together is much more value, or we can say goodness, that we can get from, compared to Nainta both going to work and the children left alone at home. And the pandemic show them the quality, because we were forced to another new norm.
Yes.
And they start to realize, 4.4 million, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And certain aspect of working people, like the nurse, the general service, they are sort of employees at the moment, because most of them, they want to stay at home. They found out during the pandemic the beauty about being together.
And not only that, I think the realization to that came for them to lose their loved ones during that process. Klame kore de ndo na we kam do na kai volle ka viko na lube mu be ka seta mama na tinamo endo ai volle ka saran mulo. Maybe some of you here listening in Fiji,
that you lost.
You lost your loved one, you lost your husband, you lost your wife, or maybe your children. There were some cases of infant and children, and when you lose them, then you realize, you've lost something very valuable to your life that not even any money on the face of the earth can replace them or bring them back to your life. And I believe, like as we shared today, the news that we saw last night, we can barong to give so can the barong to give no time, can eat okay, or we can say we are Fijian. We are always known differently because on our bonding and our family values. And that family value, not only say within the nuclear family, we love our extended family, we love our village, we, that love. And ngone ndo may takalikina, and ngona the melakudurumikina na COVID. So we can, the mother woman, you still haven't recovered from that. Like somebody so dear to your life or very precious to your life. Until today, you're still trying to find solace or find a closure. And sometimes you're angry within you. You're so angry with the world. You're angry with God, or you're angry with everything. Indirectly, you're trying to say, this shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. Why me? Or why my husband? Or why my wife has to go? Or why my children have to go? Why my child? Why my mom? Why my dad? So there's a lot of questions that we ask. And just reflecting on the news that we heard last night, some have taken note of that. They've lost their loved ones, and they've realized even the amount of money that they've made throughout their life, na lebu ni labo rawata, na lebu ni bula, ken de beka ni bula, eslevi rabura, esanganin dona ka, eroyikota telemen na bula. So it has sort of made them rearrange the priorities of their life. And we want to bring it to this table this morning because it's a family table talk, one. And second, maybe what we share this morning can be, can impact you in such a way for you just to review and think of your current status. Maybe we believe that after COVID, not only for America, for them to resign, in every country, in every individual, in there is a shift in your paradigm. Something happened. The things that you never used to value before, now you value it. Na kaya and the same do the kabaliu, so we can maybe sound you in the COVID. It has sort of reorganized your priorities and rearrange your life, and also change a lot on the outset on how you look at people, how your perspective of things around you, and also you're resilient to things around you. Before, when you're working and you're earning money and you have a normal family, everything is good. But or something run out, your patience, your stress level is very high, very easy for you to, heat out, or like you swear, or you're just always screaming and shouting. But through the period when you lost something, or you lost your job, or something have changed, we believe that has changed you a little bit, sort of make you more resilient. Okay, you've learned and accept the fact that sometimes things are not really there. They are not 100%, or you lack some things. Eba kanda sa may ngone sangni todo konaka na kainda la kuduruma ka ke roba kabota and a family table talk sa ngone ni matapale de vitalo kene ni ko ken dora kame da na vitalo ta mata kene ko. How do you value your life and the people around you? How do you value your spouse? How do you value your children, value your family? But all these things will change or define moving forward how you're going to look at life moving forward after this. Because we're coming to the end of 2021. 2020 and 2021 was just taken up with COVID and pandemic. And now you're anticipating 2022. What it will bring, we will never know. What is awaiting us, we will never know. But the only thing that we must change is change how we value our family, value our spouse, and value the life that we live, and value your life. Because you will never know what is ahead of you. And as an individual today, we would like to bring that, not only as an individual, as a mom and a dad, as a grandmom and a granddad like us, or just as a husband and a wife, being a spouse to each other. Like what I said, we are always sharing. We have walked through life. We have come through life. We've been married for 37 years. We didn't know all these things that we are sharing with you overnight, or when we got married, we said, okay, this is the way to go. Yeah. No, we had trial and error. We had some good moments. We have some downtime. We have some good times. Just like any other marriage and any other family, for those of you that are listening today. We may be talking about COVID on, that life-threatening moment of our life that make you really realize and, like you really face the reality, okay, what if something happened? The very life that you're so busy having, and you neglect your family, or you neglect your spouse, or you neglect your children because you're so taken up with the work that you were having. And then this happened. It's sort of like really made you stand back and say, okay, if something happened to my family, I will never forgive myself for doing what I'm doing, because even though it's well justified, you bringing the money home. That money that you're working for is providing shelter or roof above your family's heads, or bringing food to the table, or allowing your family to be enjoying the life you were enjoying. But this morning we would like to, knock on your door and talk about more on how you value the people around you. It may not just be pandemic that happened. So we can the warong chuna matakani so we can the natamada na tinanda. So na matilile we can the me realize that kanito weekend. So na kaya and maybe just this year then you realize you had cancer, or you realize or come to the reality of being told that you have diabetes, or you have a kidney failure, or you have kidney problem. Namate evakasori, you never plan. All your life you have been playing, okay, we're going to be with each other until we die. And that with each other until you die, it's like longer years, 60, 70, or 80, or even 90 years of being together, your lifetime. But when these things happen, not only pandemic, not only COVID, we can realize that somebody, is sick, or you should, or your children, or you heard, your mom used to be so chirpy, working around, doing everything, and one time, unplanned, and then you just hear, okay, your mom has got cancer, or your dad, something happened to your dad, or got sickness, a life-threatening sickness that continued to, attack him, or continue to make him not well all the time. So it took away what he was, or what he used to be, or what they used to be, or what your mom used to be. And that may be the moment you're facing right now to try to contemplate, okay, my mom, is not well. My dad is not well. Like you feel that. Because that's how I felt with my mom. My mom, when my dad passed on, my mom had diabetes. I never knew that my mom had diabetes. She didn't know that she had diabetes. We had a life of happiness. We had a life of, we had our farm. We had a good life. I never planned. We never even, the conversation that we have, never had those kind of, a topic to say, what if something happened? What if I die? Or what if something happened to us? What will happen to our children? We never have those kind of conversation, which we believe, the family table talk. A lot of times maybe, how relevant is that? What are they talking about? Why are they telling us all these things? We are talking about these things because it's the life that we have come through. He had come through their life from the village until now. I have come through their life that I'm sharing with you today. We have come through life and we look back. What could we have done that would have changed? What could have done that you can prepare yourself for things like that to happen? So as you listen today, for me, it's good to know when your parents is sick, or when you know that somebody's sick, because it prepares you. When my mom passed, was totally different from when my dad passed. Because when my dad passed, it was so sudden. You were enjoying your father, having the relationship, and that closeness, and then all of a sudden, that is taken away from you. The impact is totally different from my mom, because my mom had diabetes for years. After my dad passed, a year later, she found out that she had diabetes, had her leg amputed, lived with me. So all along, I knew that my mom is not 100%. So one day, my mom will go. When the day comes,
So your relationship is prepared. That one day she will
go,
So you are more prepared than what happened to your father. Because we never talk about if anything happened.
Yeah.
Because things can happen. Nobody knows how tomorrow. Yeah. And when we don't talk about it, then we are not ready for it.
Yeah.
So when we talk about it, we are prepared for anything.
Yes.
Because information is something
I believe that people don't want to really talk about it because it's the reality that they don't want to face.
People don't want to talk about things that they struggle with.
Yeah.
And that's why when a pandemic comes, it comes and nobody can control it. We need to face it because the whole world was facing it. So when we don't talk about if something happened, the impact on us will be greater.
When it happens.
When it happens. Baltani sindo na ngon metanda bikin ma ngon vital no. Ke maniado ndo na ka. Ngona kango medaka, ngona kango medaka, kango na wango. Baltani kan sabi tal no takatiko. Niado ma ndo na ka. You are already prepared. In your mind, spiritually, you are already prepared.
You'll miss them. but you
are
were
prepared,
ready.
you are
Yeah.
ready. But if we don't talk about it, and suddenly, and we've been talking about this before, the administration of a family.
Yeah.
We have administration in the church.
Yeah.
We have administration in our workplace.
Yeah.
We have administration in the government. But when it comes to a family,
We neglect that.
Yeah. There's no even a file to say 5 children, this file for this, and the record is
Yes.
there. And when we are not prepared, there's a lot of problem that we can face in future. And sometimes families, they lose what their inheritance that's supposed to come to them, because there's no written administration or something that they talk about. And the children can fight over, even the relatives from the mom, relatives from the dad, they can come. If the children were still small, they'll try to grab whatever they can grab, because they never talk about it.
Yeah. Just when you mentioned that, because like I was sharing with my parents, my dad just went so suddenly because he just collapsed at home. And then when we actually took him to the hospital, they said that he was already dead from home. And we had a shop, we had a farm, like what he said, because we never talk about it. There was never a time for us to say, or for them to say, if I go or when I go, I've left this, I've done this, like to be prepared. To administer, to make sure that something is written.
Something in
Yeah, because when he actually passed on, we were lost. And it can be you. You can be, you can be testament to what we are sharing today. Maybe you are in that moment right now when the very person you're so, reliant on, and all of a sudden, unplanned, and they are taken. Oh, I don't know how to describe that feeling, but you can identify that feeling. And when that happened, in that state of loss, you are not, for me at the moment, I was very young. I was only 13. I was not even looking out for anything else, but, like you were just trying to face the fact and to come to terms. Then your dad is no longer there. And I mean, you're listening today. It can be your mom, it can be your dad. You can relate to my story that as I'm sharing this morning. And our life was good. Everything was good. My dad had a position in church. We lived in a small community. It was like a close-knit community. We know each other. We lived together. Yeah, it was beautiful, I would say. I had a very beautiful upbringing. And suddenly, without plan. And we usually have this Sunday night. We always call it at home then. It's like our Mbabakau night every Sunday. Na via kabikirin sita bisanga ni daka na lotu biki mami nambongi. And we were there in Andele Tomuka in Lotoka, we have stage 2 then. And kaya mi lotu nga na singa, lotu na yakami. Nambongi, na bibungi kirin singa tabo, biki to mamatu bubal. Akito nandambe kiriti ko, like in an open lounge. We don't have any lounge or it's just an open room. And that every Sunday night, my mom will bring the whole basket of clothes of our uniform for the week, and she will sit there and iron our uniform for the week, or iron my dad's work clothes, and everybody will just sit around and we'll have tea with mbamba cow, and we'll have ndroni moli with mbamba cow, or dhomboi with mbamba cow. And there is a night, every night for us, or every Sunday night, that we talk about the family. And then my father will always say, okay, we talk about our future. At that time, we were talking, for me, I love medical things. So we were talking about the doctor, and I have my other brother, my 2 brothers, and my sister. And all this talk we used to have, and my father was saying, okay, do you really want to know, to do their job? And all those talks we always have every Sunday night with our Mbamba cow. And everybody knows, it's like normal for us. For years, we were doing that. And then that, same Sunday night, one of those Sunday nights when I'm always 13, and we had our shop within the premise of our home, and we have a tap outside. We have a tap outside. And in one of those Sunday nights, one of those talks, because we will all be lying down, and laughing. Yeah, you may have your own setup. You can relate to what I'm sharing. Or maybe now we are so busy with church, we are so busy with work, we no longer have those kind of time that I'm talking about now. And because I have lived through that life, I try as much as possible to inject the family time for my children and my grandchildren, and even for me and my husband. Because individually, we are so busy with our work, we'll grab every moment. We'll grab every moment. Back to what I'm sharing. And then do the sing tambo batabaya. And then in the middle of everything, we were laughing and singing. We sing. I'm the one in the whole family that I don't know how to sing. But my sister sing in the choir. And my dad sing in the choir, but I don't sing. And but I can only sing at home. You know, the Velen of the Monde and everything. Our favorite song is always the Poloto. We used to sing Poloto. And one of those Sunday nights, as we were singing, and my dad was sitting right there. And I'm so close to my dad. And in the midst of us singing, then I saw my dad lie down. He lay down. The only thing because I was sitting right next to him, the only thing he said, Charlie, get me a water. Get me a water. And because I look at my dad lying down, we had our kitchen inside the house. At that moment, I didn't even think that there is water in the house. There's a kitchen there in the house. I ran out. I grabbed the glass, and I ran out to the tap outside. And I ran out to the tap, and I was standing there. It was so dark, and I ran back inside. When I ran back inside, my father tried to sit up, held onto the glass, and I will never forget this. So I'm sharing something that you can relate to, maybe the moments you had with your mom or with your dad. And I just look at his face. He was looking at me. He held the glass. As soon as the glass reached his lips, he just took one sip. And that glass fell off from his hand, and he lied down. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know what to do. I didn't learn any CPR. We never know about, we never know about basic CPR to resuscitate my dad. And he just lied down there. So we ran around. We used to have the Shu family, our neighbors, and we were very close, this Indian family. So I just called out to Uncle Shu to bring his car to take my dad to the hospital. And when we arrived to the hospital, it was just us. Like I always share that our family is very private. And it was always us. When we arrived to the hospital, we all went in with my mom and everybody, and my brothers and my sister. I'll never forget that day. We went to Lotok Hospital. We rushed in. I was just shouting to the doctor. He came, draw the curtain. He touched my dad. He looked at us, test everything. Then he said, "No, I cannot do anything." I will never forget that moment. When you were so close to somebody and you had so much in life, and we talk about so much of our future, on what we will become, and thinking those conversations that we were having, that he was going to be part of our future. And I know to you listening in today, I know you are joining in, or when you get to hear this, I had one of my brother who is just above me. I'm the youngest in the family. Irritating to my parents. And I remember my dad, no matter what we talk about every Sunday, because he's named after my grandfather from my maternal, my mom's dad. My mom's dad, quite taltala mela kemba, taltala nilo tu esele. And evaya the kina na tokangu durbo. Na bingo na kede ni kito na vitan lotiko, but let's talk about black sheep of family, live in a kind of other cow. Na bingo na kede kito vitan lo, we talk about what we want to become, and I'll always remember, regardless of what my brother will say or what he wants to become, I will never forget what my father will always say. He will always look to my brother and he always say, "Tui, iko mo na kama nga na taka kaba na nomoyada se da kabo tukamo iko mo tal. I am always listening or hearing my dad saying that every Sunday, and every time my balatenyo kwa lebona kai ba the cup. O kaya na ringa maybe na tamago na kaka, sini vina kata mo tal-tal, o sini vina kat. And it's always like that conversation. And we're always laughing about it. And yeah, like the talks and the conversation we had, I never planned or never anticipated that he was not going to be part of my life or part of that future we were talking about. And I want to bring it home to those of you at home. Maybe, you say, okay, you're going, oh, you're very good. You're very good. Like what I'm saying now to my grandchildren. And I said, no, you're good with that. You can be an accountant. Or you're good with that. You can be, a lawyer. Or you're good with that. And looking at your skills, I see one of my grandson, he'll come and make coffee, or he will lay out the table so neatly. Apart from the others, grab this container, do all these things, and then just leave it back. But this particular grandson of mine, Israel, okana la kumay tuwan na binaka, spread ka binaka na table cloth, bita pa binaka ko na coffee na tamay kibakada kabachiko ka na mena tea, and I'm looking at him and I said, man, Israel, that's very neat. I really like that. And I said, you can even have a cafe. You can have a shop. So, like when you're having those kind of conversation. But speaking to Israel, and now he's only, 13? He's 13 years old. And as I speak to Israel, in my heart I'm saying, I'm speaking that to my grandson, but will I be there? Because of the experience that I've been through, I can ask those questions. But when you haven't been through that experience, you will never ask those questions, because to you it's like nothing will happen. Because
most of people they don't go through what we went through.
Yeah.
So life just go on.
Go on. Yeah.
And sometimes we live a reckless life.
Yeah.
Because we never anticipate
something can happen.
Something can happen.
Yes.
And that's why it's very important when we have a family table talk.
Yeah.
Because we can talk about things of the future.
Yeah.
And when we plan, maybe your father was not saying in such a way of planning, but slowly he was inputting, the things into his children's life. And that's why the more we talk about our family, and we can only talk about our family if we are staying together.
Yes.
So back to the news that we heard last night. People start to realize the quality, the beauty.
The value of their family.
Yeah, the value and the beautiful of being together.
Yes.
As I said before, when we start the program, we were introduced into a fast lane. Everything going fast. You go get a job and be successful.
It's so fast, and then you don't recognize the quality of life that is there with you.
Because to us, the value is the position, the money.
Yeah.
Whenever we change the value, we will change the lifestyle. See, if we value money, then our lifestyle will change because we want to achieve money. But if you value family, then our lifestyle will change because of the value. Whatever you value, it'll become your lifestyle.
Yes, it will define you. Right?
See,
and sometimes you're busy trying to make that money, and you are losing out on the very thing that means a lot to you.
No, as I said, because you don't value your family time, we don't know what we are losing out. So when pandemic come, we were forced to stay together at home.
That's why they have a lot of domestic abuse.
When we don't handle properly, the people handle properly. Oh, what a beautiful thing to be together.
Yes.
Even though the fridge is empty, even though we are losing our job, but this is more beautiful than having money. But some people, when they come home, they don't accept what happened.
Yes.
So they come home and they don't have patience for one another. And they don't value.
So they hit out in a different way.
Because of what happened out there, it affects their relationship.
Yes.
Because the way they handle, or maybe they don't want to sit down and accept.
Something have happened.
Something, and nobody has the power to change it.
Yes.
So we need to change according to what we face.
When actually look back, in review some of the cases, I would believe it stems out from anger. Like you're angry with the fact you lost your job, or you're angry with the fact there's no food on the table. You are just so angry with life, or why it has to change.
Yeah, when you lose your job, if I go back to the value, because you value your job so much, and then you lost it. You lost it or taken away from you. Some people will tell, they see it, they don't lose their job. It is taken away. They were, because they don't see the company is struggling,
Yeah.
so they need to lay off staff.
Yeah.
For them, their job was taken away. We've been working, we give